So apparently, Pastor Anthony Philip Mitchell, I think I said his name right, he's clapping back at content creators for merely questioning, at least for the video that I made, for merely questioning what he said last week when he supposedly was praying for favor for $20 million. Now, I do agree, I did use the word mismanagement of money, of funds. No shame, but you have to listen to everything that I said. Now, once I didn't say he was begging for money, I was questioning the motives and how the money was going to be spent. And I went ahead and I gave some alternatives. But apparently he's so riled up on what I said and what other content creators said that he made a special message for us today at his service. So we're going to listen and then we're going to see if he's right or wrong. But hey, everybody can defend themselves. So, Pastor Phillips, I'm open for a conversation about what I said. I'm inviting you. Doesn't have to be public. It could be private. I'm open for this conversation. Okay? All right. First of all, let's see. You told us to make a video, right? I'm making one. Just for you. All right. Let's hear it.
If you are a guest to 2819 sitting in this room or sitting in that overflow room, we welcome you to our gathering. If you are our digital disciples watching me live right now in cities across the country and around the world, we welcome you into our gathering. And if you're not a follower of Jesus Christ and you're sitting in the room or you're sitting in that overflow, we know that you are here and that we are glad that you are here and that you are eavesdropping every week on these holy conversations that a church is having with one another. Praying that God would bring you aboard this ark of safety before time has run out. Now, family, before we jump into the proclamation of God's word, okay, I want to take a moment to address something that is happening in the culture, because I refuse for God to be robbed of his glory. And I refuse for you to be robbed of the testimony of your spiritual sacrifice. So following last Sunday, I saw that there was much confusion. There was much confusion as to the core reason why I called our church to pray last Sunday. And I want to give clarity for those who took my words in culture out of context, okay? Our church has rapidly grown and continues to rapidly grow by the thousands. In these past couple months, over 6,000 of us now gathering in this moment. And because of that supernatural thing that the Lord is doing, we have brought great stress to this facility and great stress to our community with our cars and our foot traffic, okay? This has created a great amount of pressure on us for months to relocate out of this facility and out of this community, and that is a legitimate pressure, okay? And this pressure has been building for months and months and months, this external pressure that is pushing us out of this community because of the stress that our church is putting on this facility, okay? This created a need for us to find a larger venue for our spiritual family. And last week I said that we have called every high school, every university, every college, every venue, every arena, every theater, every place that was large enough to accommodate a family of our size, and no doors was opening for us, and this was going on for months and months and months. And last Sunday, just half an hour before I arrived here, I got a text message where I learned about APD and city officials that was coming to monitor our traffic with the hopes that we can mitigate the traffic that's out there on that main street. And as a human being, I was stressed. I felt under pressure. I had reached my own personal breaking point with all of that pressure. And so I shared with our church community that we had one last option to move into a larger venue, and that what we needed to do was cry out for an open door, and that I said what we needed this week that just passed was a miracle from God. Okay? And I said to you that there was a church that abandoned a very large facility, and that a company of Jews had bought that facility. They gutted out the whole thing and turned it into storage, and we have been going back and forth with them to try to get a contract to get into that facility. And as I said that to you, I just happened to mention how much it would cost our church to get into that facility. After that, many people took my words and twisted my words, and what they did, they made content without context. And created a false narrative about our church. And that those narratives was a gross misunderstanding and a twisting of my words, saying that I stood up here and I was begging people for money. Any idea or thought that I, Philip Anthony Mitchell, will stand on any platform in America and beg people for $1 is asinine, and it's inconsistent with my character, my heart, my witness, and 12 years of gospel ministry. Okay. For no one cannot go back in the records of all of my sermons, 12 years of preaching, and find one sermon, one video, one credible person to say that I'm a money man and I stood up here to try to manipulate people for $1. Give me this camera. And I want to remind all of my haters, who speak evil of me this week, that I am the same pastor that held an entire gathering in Gateway Center Arena and took up no offering. Zero. I'm the same man that employs over 50 people, and to suggest that we are poor stewards or God hasn't been kind to our ministry financially, like the Lord hasn't provided for all of our needs, is a mischaracterization of my heart and my words. Listen, make a video about this next part right here. Make a video this week about this part right here. That the pain you heard in my voice last week was not the pain for money. That you didn't see me kneel down on this platform and shed tears for $1. But the pain you heard in my voice last week was the care of a father that was concerned about where his children will gather 60 days from now. And to suggest that the gift of one person solved all of our needs, you was not listening to what I said. And that what I told our church last week is that what we needed was something money could not buy. We needed something intangible. Listen, we needed favor for God to move on the heart of somebody to open a door for us. That's why we prayed. That's why we cried. That's why we laid out and pleaded with God to move on the hearts of anybody to open a door for us. So So now I'm done with you. And let me talk to y'all about what God did.
Okay, Pastor Philip, you aired out your feelings. That's fine. Good for you. I'm surprised you didn't cry today because last week you're crying at almost every single word you said during that special moment. You're so-called asking for favor from the Lord, calling the congregation to pray for favor. But let me just respond to your claims that we are hating, or I'm hating, or the content creators are hating and attacking you personally, saying evil things about you. First of all, I never spoke anything evil of you. My video was not intended to personally attack or judge, the character or your integrity. Instead, it was created to spark a discussion about alternative approaches for growing a congregation without placing a heavy financial burden on the church. Whether you want to take that as your congregation members or your staff or you, take it how you want to take it. But if I were you, I would take it with a giant grain of salt. Because, I use satire and sarcasm in my content. Now, I do understand that church growing is a challenge that, a lot of congregations face. You're not the first one, so you're not special in that case. And in my opinion, in the way I think they are often creative, collaborative solutions that can reduce reliance on large sums of money. And that's why I say you can find members or contractors in your congregation that can help you or give you a discount. There's other alternatives you could use, like develop a phased development plan that can achieve the same growth you're looking for while fostering a deeper sense of community involvement, right? You have contractors from your congregation, you're involving the community. That way everybody, like you like to flex that you got 50 employees, everybody's involved and everybody's benefiting from your church, if you want to call it that. My intentions, believe it or not, were to explore these possibilities and encourage transparency and innovation in addressing such a challenge. Not to accuse anyone of wrongdoing. I believe it's important to have open, respectful dialogues about how we can support communities effectively, while we also remain mindful of the financial realities many people face today. You say that we are haters, that we spoke evil of you, and we grossly misrepresented what you said. If I remember correctly, according to my notes, you say that we insinuated that God had not provided all your needs for you and your congregation or your staff. You also point out that the pain that you had was not for money or for dollar. It was for the care like a father. You were caring like a father. Who gave you that responsibility of crying and caring for the church? Shouldn't you be praying to God to give you, or leave it to God to take care of that situation? Why are you taking the responsibilities of God? Because your words are, you cared as a father, worrying about where they're going to sleep the next time or tomorrow. But your God says, do not worry what you eat today or wear tomorrow. For enough troubles for the day are here, something of the sort. But you took upon yourself to show us your vulnerabilities that we explored and took advantage of. And now you're clapping back, saying that we spoke evil of you. Nobody spoke evil of you. I didn't. So don't put me in that box. I didn't say you were begging for money, so don't put me in that box either. I merely explored other alternatives instead of mismanaging money by purchasing all this expensive equipment and buildings that you're looking for. I actually gave you alternatives because you said you had no other option, so I provided them. So for you to turn around and call me a hater, that I spoke evil of you, you're being disingenuous. Next off, you never explained that you had external pressures from the community because of the way your church was growing. What you said was that the city officials were Karens, and those Karens were in your congregation, out in the hallways, out in the parking lots, and in their offices, and that they were relying on you to get you kicked out. Roll back the tape. Roll back the tape. Tell me you didn't say those things, and I'll shut my mouth. Then you said today you're saying that, it was all about praying about favor. But you didn't deliver where you delivered today last week. All you kept saying is, listen to me. Listen to me. It's going to take us 250,000. Actually, you said it's going to take $250,000 to just walk in the building. Listen to me. And another $250,000. And another $250,000 to dress up the room. I'm paraphrasing. And then you started hyperventilating. Followed by that, you started crying, which is a form of manipulation if you understand psychology. When you're playing music behind in the background to move the crowd, to soften them up, and then you start hyperventilating and crying, people like me who like to analyze situations will see that as manipulation. But Mark, what I said, I didn't say you are manipulating people to ask for money. I said you were setting them up to accept your message. It's two different things. So, I don't know what else you want us to say. You told us to make a video. I'm making one. So go watch again my video and tell me if I was wrong in what I said. Because never said anything evil about you. I didn't hate on you. I'm not hating. I've never met you. Why would I hate on you? First of all, my heart is too small to include any hate against anyone. I ain't got room for hate. It's already occupied by the love of my family. There's no room for hate around here. My whole message was to, and I'm reiterating here because I know some of your congregations who'll be tweeting on my, or leaving comments on my videos do not understand where I'm coming from. My whole thing was the way you presented yourself, it insinuated that you were asking for money. Otherwise, if you are asking for prayers, for favor, you should have said, I'm asking for the church to pray so that God can move a needle in these contract negotiations that are in the standstill. But that's not what you said. You brought in money. You say you so happened to mention the cost of the building. But no, you went into details. You went into the next 60 days, what you need, and the next 2 years, and the 2 years after that, and the years after the 2 years, which was going to cost you about $19 million, in total $20 million. That's why I made the video. Not because I was hating on you. And in my way of pointing out what you said, I offered alternatives. Anyways, that's all I have to say. So I made my response to your video. I'm open for dialogue. If you want to talk about this, I'm happy to. Okay? But that's all I have to say. You ask us to make a video? Here it is. Peace.